Blade is a wind destruction character that consumes his own HP much like Arlen does, but this time he's nowhere near D tier. There is a catch to him, an Achilles' heel of sorts. His main shtick is that when he uses his skill Hellscape, he consumes a portion of his max HP to enhance his next 3 basics to deal AoE damage. His basics deal damage that scale off his max HP and reduce his health even further. Keep in mind that these abilities will never kill Blade outright, but instead it'll leave him at 1 HP. Now this may sound like trash, but the mere fact that his damage scales off his HP instead of his attack is huge, since it's easier to stack HP through relics than attack. If we were to compare him to a Genshin character, he's much like Hu Tao, and since she's an S tier in that game, I wouldn't be surprised at all that he would be as well. Oh yeah, and keep in mind that Blade's enhanced basics don't restore skill points, but he can only ever use his own skill every 3 turns anyway, so he's only slightly SP negative. Due to this, you could potentially play him as a sub DPS as well. His ultimate, Death Sentence, sets his HP back to half, meaning that if you're at 1 HP, you get healed, and if you're above 50%, it eats your HP. He then deals massive amounts of damage equal to the amount of HP he's lost during the battle. This means that all of the damage that he's been dealing to himself is going to be unleashed onto your enemies, and this is where the gigantic numbers will start to pop up. He also has a self-sustain and a follow-up attack with his talent, Shushu's Gift. When he gets damaged or eats his own HP, he gains a stack, and when he hits 5 stack, he unleashes a follow-up attack and heals himself for 25% of his max HP. Oh yeah, and 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you enjoy these videos, please do. It supports the channel, and you can always change your mind later. Thank you. With the way his kit is designed, he wants to get hit as much as possible due to his talent's follow-up attack and charge mechanic, like Clara does. But he doesn't have a built-in taunt, so the way you do this is through March 7's skill, and also the upcoming character Lynx. Her skill has been leaked to increase the aggro of a single unit like March, and she also heals. Oh yeah, since he eats so much of his HP, you gravely need a healer. So no one other than Locha matches the absurd amounts of healing that Blade needs. Of course, he could also use Natasha, and depending on how much they tweak her numbers, Lynx might be able to heal Blade enough so that he won't game end himself. Since he doesn't benefit much from attack, you don't really want buffers like Yukong or Tingyun on your team. Instead, you want debuffers on your team like Pela, that shreds death, or even Silverwolf if you're looking to increase his damage through support. A sample team might give you his Blade, Locha, Pela, and a Flex unit. His gameplay is extremely simple, and I like it that way honestly. He just uses his skill every 3 turns and Unga Bunga basics the enemies until they die. For light cones, Blade is really dependent on his signature light cone, the unreachable side. So if you're pulling for Blade, you should really consider getting his light cone since it increases his crit rate and his HP by 18%. And when he gets attacked or eats his HP, his damage increases by 24%. All of these are huge for him, and no other light cone can really compare since none of the current ones give him HP. The rest of the destruction light cones increase his attack, which, you know, he doesn't really need since his attack percent scalings aren't the best. The other destruction light cone that I can recommend is Arlen's light cone, a secret vow. Okay, for the relics, the new set, 4-piece Longevous Disciple, yes, that's how you pronounce it, I checked it, is the best in slot for him since it gives him HP and crit rate whenever he loses HP. If you can't get the 4-piece, then going 2-piece Longevous Disciple and 2-piece Eagle is fine as well. For planar set, you'd want Fleet of the Ageless for the extra HP or Inert Cell Soto for the crit rate, ultimate, and follow-up damage. And you can also get Rutilant Arena if you want more damage on his basics. I recommend you take Fleet of the Ageless since players should be grinding World 3 in the simulated universe anyway because of how generalist both Space Sealing Station and Fleet of the Ageless are. For the main stats, you want to go crit rate or damage for his body, speed for his boots, wind damage percent for his planar sphere, and finally HP percent for his link rope. For his substats, you still want to prioritize crit rate and damage first, then HP percent and speed. If you can't hit these stats, then break effect and attack percent should be your last resort. Blade has quite low speed, so I think you really need to build it on him. Here's the speed breakpoints once again for your convenience. I personally would try to hit at least 107 or 121 speed on him. I also do account reviews and Memory of Chaos advice over on Ko-fi if you'd like to support me. If you have extra pulse after getting Blade, I highly recommend you get his Light Cone instead of his Eidolons. But if you're wailing, all of Blade's Eidolons are decent. His E1's description is long, but it essentially doubles his ultimate's damage. E2 increases his crit rate by 15% whenever he enters Hellscape, which you'll always be in anyway. His E4 says that when Blade's HP drops to 50%, his max HP increases by 20%, and this stacks up to 2 times. This is great because he already dropped his HP so frequently and it increases all his HP scaling damage. His E2 reduces the stacks needed for his talent to 4, and it increases the damage by quite a bit. None of these look particularly game-breaking to me, so if I were to pull on him, I'd just get him his Light Cone and then dip. Overall, Blade is a consistent AoE wind damage dealer, and he's super easy to use and has respectable damage. I don't have a doubt that you can clear lots of MOC with him, but I do have a little gripe. And it's not even with Blade, it's with his banner. His banner's 4 stars are Arlan, Sushang, and Natasha. While yes, Natasha is a healer and nice to have with Blade, but she's most likely going to be replaced by Lynx in the future anyway. And Sushang is a nice F2P hunt unit that you can use on another team. But none of them really feel like they support Blade well, other than Natasha of course. It just feels like Blade's banner is all over the place compared to Kafka's powerhouse of a lineup, since all of them contribute to her game plan, not to mention the D tier rat that is Arlan. And that is his Achilles' heel. But if you like Blade's playstyle and character design, or if you're already nearing pity anyway, I'd say he's a great addition to your party. But if the 4 stars dissuade you from pulling Blade, then fret not, because Kafka's banner is over the horizon, and Dunhunk's 5-star version is also looming over. All of them are AoE damage dealers as well, and I'll cover both of these characters when they release, so stay tuned and subscribe. That's it for me, my name is Kite, and I'll see you all later.